Hey guys, welcome back. BTCKR here, and we're back with another multiplayer team while we're waiting until our schedules line up again for us to be able to do another Q&A. So whenever we post a multiplayer video, we are very often asked, would whoever be a good replacement for whoever? Or if I don't have this gear, what could I use instead? So here's this week's very specific variation on it. Who is the best alternative to Catwoman on an Arkham team? So here's the thing. From a basic point of view in terms of team building, I think Arkham Knight Batgirl is non-negotiable if you have her. She is powerful on her own. She helps any Arkham teammates by saving them, but by also dropping bombs on her enemies. So bombs when she tags in to save her teammates, but also potentially bombs if you get to use her saved teammates again and drop them in with a bunch of power. Arkham Knight, the Arkham Knight, is our basic damage dealer. He's got a passive that's mostly useless, but his basic attack combos allow him to complete a swipe combo that does more than 80% more damage than he should based on his damage stat. The reason why he makes a good Arkham team teammate is because he's not that great on his own. It's not a guy you'd want to build a team around, but he becomes that much more powerful on a proper Arkham team with Arkham Knight Batgirl. And he fills that particular niche of a basic damage dealer pretty well. Somebody that you don't need all the time, but when you need him, you really need him. Up until now, our favorite third, I should say, Arkham teammate has been Arkham Knight Catwoman. We're not going to go into detail about all the reasons why, but as a damage over time specialist, she's better than almost anyone else because of her passive for non-rinsable damage over time, and her special 2 damage is only reduced by 25% instead of the usual 50% for the secondary effect of bleed. So who do we try? I think we'll disqualify first and not even bother trying or talking about Arkham Knight Batman. He's just too good on his own to put him on a team that would otherwise make a different Arkham character shine. Arkham Knight Batman is, on an individual basis, one of the best cards. So it sort of goes without saying that even on a team that's meant to sort of enhance him, he's going to be even better. So when we talk about trying out alternatives, the obvious choice is Arkham Origins Joker. He gets boosted damage over time because of teammates. His special 2 is not reduced at all, probably because the damage over time comes from his passive instead of from the special itself. So while most characters get reduced damage by 50% for having a secondary effect, and Arkham Knight Catwoman is only reduced by 25%, Joker's not reduced at all. So you'd think this guy should be pretty good. His problems are you can't drop, and it's not obvious, you can't drop a special 2 immediately on tag in because Master's Death Cart causes enough separation and shoves the opponent back enough that his first or sometimes even his first 2 hits miss. And if you're watching the video that's running, you can see a few examples in the clips of him dropping a special 2. The other problem with him is that his damage over time is poison. I mean, it's great that we get damage over time, but poison itself has a secondary effect, which is that the opponent does less damage. So much better is Catwoman's bleed with a 20% boost to damage taken, which includes the bleed, and that stacks. So bleed damage over time will cause way more damage, and you can see that in a few clips where after a couple of special 2s and Quake Engine, the stack damage over time from Joker still doesn't cause as much damage as we've seen with Arkham Knight Catwoman, where it just sort of leaks and pours right out. And you can overcome the special 2 whiffing on the first or second or first 2 hits by doing a few swipes. You close the gap, which is also what you're seeing demonstrated in a few examples. But that's not an option if you're tagging in against an opponent that has enough power to do a special. They won't give you the chance to do the basic combo. So Joker's geared with Tantu Totem and Master's Death Cart, of course, as their specialist. His third gear is Quake Engine. Now, with other characters where you give them a third gear that generates power, sort of boosts power gen, you can do a special 2 immediately because you've got 2 bars of power as soon as you tag in. However, when you're gearing them so that the third gear doesn't boost power gen and you're looking for another effect like you are with Quake Engine, You could do a basic combo with Batgirl before tagging that other character in, but since Joker needs to get close anyways, right? He needs to come in, let him do a basic combo, which is what you're seeing also as another example. The problem is you can't do that against an opponent who has power, and you doubly can't do that if they have power and have Astro Harness. So he's okay. He's not great. Arkham Origins Deathstroke has the same problem of whiffing at the beginning of his special 2 if you try to do it too quickly on tag-in. And while his special 1 is strong, his passive is boosting it, right? So that you get the unblocked and automatic crit if it hits the 200%. It still isn't strong enough to be a one-hit KO against most opponents the way Batgirl's or Flashpoint Deathstroke's special 1 can be. So another option is Arkham Origins Bane. His passive means that if he needs to be saved from being knocked out, Arkham Knight Batgirl automatically has at least 1 bar power when she's tagging in, unless you took it really slow and wasted her power, because his passive will give her a bar when his health drops below half. His special 2 is ranged, so he can use it immediately on tag-in without any of the hits missing. And he's got a relatively good range on the first few hits. You never have to worry about how far away the opponent is. And you can see his special 2 demonstrated in a few of these, and we'll keep on demonstrating while we talk about who our actual choice is for the third Arkham player or character. So the winner is Arkham Origins Batman. Oldie but goodie. So let's talk about him and why he's so good. It might seem like a waste to gear him with Tantu Totem and Master's Death Card since he already has 2 bars of power. Tantu Totem will give him the 3rd. Master's Death Card has no effect at all. But what it means is that you can let fly with a special 2 immediately. You don't have to worry that it's costing you power generation if you trigger your special 2 early and you're missing out on Master's Death Card benefits. It also means that because you're coming with 3 bars of power, even if you're facing a power dampening team, you are ready to drop a bomb. With other Arkham characters, power dampening actually gives you a bit of trouble, and you have to work around it. You also have more flexibility with gearing. So if you want to use Master's Death Card on someone else, you can. It's really just insurance so that if you end up needing to tag in Batman again, you don't have to wait. You can just drop him in again. And unless it's against a power dampening team, his first special 2 is great. He comes back in later. He can drop another special 2 real quick. That means potentially, though, you can have 2 gear slots to play around with. Now, if you go with Tantu Totem and Master's Death Card like we did in this loadout we're going to show you, 4th World Godly Mace is a really good complement. It boosts special 2. It steals more power, or steals power more often than it should. And it gives splash damage. Not as much as, say, with somebody who really blows them away with special 2 like Ares. But it's enough to soften up the opponents before they tag in. So we're going to show you what that kind of loadout looks like and how fast that fight can go. Okay. So Arkham Origins Batman, Master's Death Card, Tantu Totem, 4th World Godly Mace. We're facing Flashpoint team. So yeah, we just checked the gear on Batman. I mean, with some team compositions, it's useful and it's necessary. It's not necessary with this team, but it's just a habit we get into. So, all right, so what's neat, what you just saw there was, even though it doesn't do any damage, the tail end of Batman Special 2 is registering as coming into contact with the next opponent tagging in, and that means Flashpoint Aquaman's passive completely negated. So you saw that, right? So our Batman took no damage each time because that little bit of sort of waving at the air with his special 2 made no difference. There we go. And the other good thing is his special 2 is just so fast. And we're going to probably see a demonstration soon with Astro Harness that, there we go. All right, so watch. So he can do 3 special 2s during one Astro Harness invulnerability. There's 1, there's 2. Oh, and he would have done a 3rd if we didn't get interrupted. Only the 4th is going to hit. Compare that to New 52 Wonder Woman, who can only do 1.5 special 2s, where the half is that the tail end of her second special 2 will hit, and she won't get her power back. If you've seen our previous videos, you'll know that we use her special 1 during Astro Harness invulnerabilities to kill time and generate power for her teammates, and she can only do 3 of them before she starts hitting. So Arkham Origins Batman Special 2 is about as fast as her Special 1, which is why this Arkham team, with Batman as the main damage dealer, can give you some really super fast grinding on multiplayer. And I think part of it is, oh, and there you go, you can actually see how much health Wonder Woman lost before she tagged in, and also Raven, really softening them up. Yeah, Arkham Origins Batman's been around for a long time. He is classic, but he is still so good. If you wanted to actually use him as a basic damage dealer, we've seen how fast his attacks are. He's really not bad at all. He doesn't have a great weakness. And boom. Okay, there we go again. So this is the kind of super fast fight you can expect. So in the time it takes to do a special 1 for other characters, he's done a special 2. There was no Astro Harness. And another super fast fight. Really, Astro Harness doesn't stop us, but it really slows us down. Decent amount of damage. So we're just not even going to bother looking at who's there. If we can help it, and we can just really do a nice speed run. Oh, unfortunately, Deadshot. He's one of the characters that blocks a lot. He blocked. He interrupts our strategy, slows things down a bit, but not a big deal. Oh, and their Lobo's got Astro Harness too, which is going to slow us down a bit. So, I mean, we're never really in any danger. Because Arkham Knight is such a good basic damage dealer, 1 combo is enough, you saw that, to take him from one invulnerability to another, and then we just bring in Batman to finish off Lobo without having to worry about more tag-ins to waste time when we don't get our power back if it hits another invulnerability, if we trigger another invulnerability. I don't know why I looked, but we see Astro Hearts and Martian Manhunter. That's going to be a bit of a pain. But we're going to start off by tagging in Batman anyways, and I guess the one thing it saves us is that the invulnerability will last long enough to outlast Martian Manhunter's reduced damage, sort of the blue shield passive. And by the time the invulnerability is gone, he's going to be fully vulnerable to our attacks. We're just going to do him, soften up, bring him to the first invulnerability. Yeah, we did pass that. Buy ourselves a bit of time, swap out. And the cool thing is, oh, and we saw that actually there were 3 special 2s before we hit that, but there was the 4th one. And because this is not so much a problem here because there's no Flash, but against the Blackest Night Flash team, we no longer have a weakness because Batman doesn't naturally do damage over time. I mean, if you wanted to, you could still do a lot of damage over time, and you could use his 3rd gear slot for that instead of the 4th World Godly Mace, right? You could use Ibistic to boost overall damage, again with damage over time. Heart of Darkness boosts special 2, which is what we want, and drains power like the Mace does, and add damage over time. Quake Engine, you could use that to boost damage, steal special 2, power. But it's a waste of the damage over time abilities because there's nothing that it's going to trigger again. But you could do 50% more damage against a character without power and potentially steal it, so that you're doing even when they have power sometimes because you just snatch some of their power away. Right, so there you go. It didn't... another Astro Harness, bit of a pain in the butt. So we did 1 swipe combo with Batgirl to waste Martian Manhunter's invulnerability, just so that Batman's special 2 would do full damage. And normally that's probably not necessary, but we knew that Hawkgirl gave a revive for Martian Manhunter. And Astro Harness, again, time waster. And that's not bad. We're looking at 6 minutes so far for 1 ultimate ladder. But the real test is how fast you can do 2 of them, right? Because sometimes you get really lucky on 1 run. And if you do a double run, it gives you a better idea of just how much you could do. The other option for your 3rd slot, for your 3rd gear slot, underrated, often neglected, is a Demon Blade. It's only a 2.5-star gear, but it is also the only gear that will both boost Special 2 damage and boost crit chance on Special 2, which is a nice double whammy for somebody that you're going to be bringing in and doing Special 2s over and over again. Yeah, that nothing special about this. It's the time that would have taken Wonder Woman, New 52 Wonder Woman to do 3 special ones. We've knocked out the team. If every fight were like this without Astro Harness, we would probably be able to motor through an Ultimate Ladder even faster. So there, Arkham Origins Batman. Oh, and see, we drained his power with the mace. And that passive, sorry, not that passive, that ability of the gear doesn't really help us, right? Because we've already got full 3 bars of power. But it has more of a defensive benefit. So you don't really need it. Or actually, I don't even know if that'll give us the power like it does with Raven. It might not even. But it's great because it's a good way to break up a chain if you've got somebody who's just getting their power over and over again. Like Harley Quinn, where she's not doing damage, she just does a Special 2 and gets all her health back all the time. So Reverse Flash's passive will slow us down a bit. And Batgirl's Astro Harness is going to slow us down too, because anytime you have a team that's totally reliant on power. Oh, so this is a good example. If we drain his power, he's going to be less of a threat. Perfect. Yeah, that was the benefit of the mace. And if we get lucky, yep, we get lucky. So Reverse Flash had one more time he could have done his rinse or whatever, the negate the effect of a special, and we got past that. All right. And it wouldn't have hurt us for Reverse Flash to still have his power, but it would have wasted more time with him doing special, and it's still a decently quick fight. Hawkgirl is the rare case where, see, we didn't knock out the opponent's first card, but she has low enough health that the special one was enough to knock her out. We get a bar back. And what we're waiting for, if it hadn't been, I think their Joker must have Quake Engine. It would have been faster for Batgirl to tag in, and she gets the full benefit of being able to do that boosted stun damage. And it let us finish Green Arrow pretty quick. Basically one combo. But yeah, this is definitely an interesting and fun team. It makes a lot of characters that are not really sort of standalone. I think the language now is a carry. So one character that's responsible for carrying the whole team and doing all the damage. Boom. Okay. Oh, that was Power Drain Reverse. So she must have had 2 Lextra Gears. But another super fast fight. Nothing to slow us down. Even reversing the power drain. Walked right through that. Oh, another Arkham Origins Batman. All right, so another benefit, right? So we see the benefit of the mace. So he had their Batman had a revive. We didn't have do enough damage to knock him out, but we drained all the power. So he couldn't waste our time doing a special. Now that we're back in, I think we're done. Yeah, that's going to be pretty quick. And it didn't cost us that much time. Normally, if you have so this is a time where it really helped to have both Tantu Totem Master's Death card on Batman. In a perfect situation, Master's Death card is a waste. Anytime something comes unexpectedly, little bit of a kink, totally helps you. There we go. We drained Deathstroke. we drain Batgirl if she'd stuck around. So when... The interesting thing is, their Aquaman would have knocked us out. Batgirl saved us. And... All right, now here, this is where you see the benefit of Batgirl's loadout, right? Because she stunned him twice now. Because she stunned him when she saved Batman. She didn't have power. But a basic combo took him to the next invulnerability. And we waited it out because we had another bar of power to do more stun damage. But then when she whiffs on her special one, as she sometimes does, not a total loss, do another basic combo. And that's it. So, I don't think there's anything much else to say. Perfect team. Maybe not perfect. Wonderful team. And so if you don't have Arkham Knight Catwoman, like you did for our previous, like you saw on our previous team, there's your alternative. Okay. And this is where we like to give a big thank you to our patrons on Patreon. That's BomboBen, Consul Peasant, and Edwoon, supporting us at the top tier Last Word. Sinemac and Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier. Shawn Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin Ruiz, Eddydoo, and Hoshi127 at the credited level. And Chris Wolff, Scarlet, Dani, Awesomegamer 241, Pavu RS, Gavin, Mallott, and Isfar E at the gratitude level. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Komoda.